All right, now I want to bring in a special guest we have here in the studio helping us with legal analysis today, criminal defense attorney Sara Becker. Sara, thanks for staying with us. All right, we just watched that portion of the interview that Ted did with John Fain, and it makes me think of how this team of prosecutors decided to double down on that legal theory that this baby was burned. What does this do? Let's just say you're the attorney representing Skylar Richardson, and this is your client, and she's been acquitted of all the serious charges. There's been no evidence of that whatsoever, yet they kept doubling down on it, saying it happened. How does she manage that narrative being thrown at her throughout her life? Now she's trying to get back into the community and live a normal life, go about her business on probation, and try to move forward. But what about that narrative that's going to still hang over her head because of what the state put forward about the burning of the baby? Your thoughts on that, please.
You know, it's a really good point, Julie, because I think that if there's anyone out there that may be looking at this case and saying, oh, she got away with something, or she didn't do jail time or enough jail time relating to these charges, that's something to remember, is that punishment can come in a lot of different forms, and it could be argued that Skylar Brooke has been punished throughout the course of this trial by the state's decision to double down and put it out there and continue to pursue, and even after the fact, as we saw with the investigator now, stand by the idea that possibly she still may have burnt the baby. It's going to be hard for her to get out from under not only that, but the general publicity surrounding this and the impacts.
Right. I mean, just a high-profile trial, period. Even without the narrative of the burning of a baby, that's just so horrific. And when you hear the sounds of that, it just, I mean, makes your skin crawl and the hair on your neck stand up when you hear about that. But what was really puzzling to me was that all of that bad evidence came, those emails between those anthropologists talking about, I mean, going back on it, that was really, really appalling, and it should not have happened. It cast a bad light, I thought, on the prosecution. But then the fact that they said, well, even though there wasn't evidence the bones weren't burned, we're still going to say that the baby's skin was burned, and they had no evidence. And I think where they even went further afield and in a bad direction was they didn't have a clear legal theory. They put forth the burning theory, the drowning theory, and then the squeezing theory. So if I'm a juror, I'm going, well, did she squeeze the baby to death when she held her? Did she drown in the toilet because you said there was some gurgling, or did she try to light her on fire? I mean, it's just, it was a mess, in my opinion. What do you think?
I agree. It's as if they were asking the jury to do their job for them, almost. We don't know how this baby died, but you should believe that it happened in one of these ways, and pick one, right? And that's not beyond a reasonable doubt. I think we saw that with the jury's verdict.
Right, Sara, right. I mean, jurors are smart. They're smart people. They pick up on things. And you're right, they gave them a multiple choice exam and said, okay, it's, I mean, here we go, all these options. And no, you have to tell them what happened, explain why it happened, support it with all the evidence, and then tell them to convict when you're a prosecutor. And here, I felt like they took almost a defensive posture, if you will, and you can tell me, being an experienced criminal defense attorney, sometimes you need to put forth multiple legal theories to raise doubt, right, if you're on the defense side.
Sometimes you have to, but even on the defense side, you don't want to. One of the first things that I learned as I was, cutting my teeth on trial strategy is, if at all possible, you choose a theory of the case and you stick with it. You tell a cohesive story. You don't rely on reasonable doubt unless you absolutely have to. And the state has to put forth a beyond a reasonable doubt theory, right? Not just a theory. They have to prove a narrative, and they certainly didn't do it in this case.
Right, agreed. Sara Becker, thank you so much for your expertise. You're going to stay with us, and we have to squeeze in a quick break right now. We want you to kindly stay with us. We'll have more coverage for you on the other side of this break. We're following the jury selection happening right now in Iowa. A hog farmer, a very rich hog farmer, being accused of murdering his wife with a corn rake. Court TV Live continues right after this.